In one of the harshest environments on Earth, the Yellow Land Iguana survives against relentless odds. This cinematic wildlife documentary takes you deep into the unseen struggles of an ancient reptile facing injury, starvation, drought, and dangerous migration across unforgiving volcanic islands. Follow the iguana's journey as it endures broken bodies, toxic food, extreme heat, and long periods without water. Witness how instinct, patience, and endurance become the only weapons against a land that shows no mercy. From limping across burning rock to migrating without maps in search of food, this story reveals survival in its rawest form. Emotionally powerful and visually immersive, this documentary explores how life persists when comfort disappears and why the Yellow Land Iguana's struggle mirrors the fragile balance of nature itself. Watch till the end to experience one of the most intense and thought-provoking wildlife survival stories ever told. Kindly like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified once we drop a new video. Let's dive in. On a sun-scorched island where life whispers instead of roars, an ancient survivor waits. The Yellow Land Iguana, a creature older than memory, walks the thin line between survival and extinction. Every scale tells a story of adaptation, heat, hunger, and endless patience on a land that offers no mercy. Only lessons learned through pain and survival. Every meal is a victory, every moment of rest an invitation to danger. As hawks circle the skies and snakes move silently across the ground. One wrong move and the island claims another life, yet instinct persists. When survival briefly pauses, the breeding season begins, and strength decides who will pass life forward. Inside the female's body, the future of the species grows. Even as pregnancy slows her and predators do not, she searches for the perfect place, knowing that if she fails, her offspring will never see the sun. She lays her eggs, burying her future in the earth, and walks away, because motherhood here is sacrifice, not protection. Beneath the soil, the eggs face heat, insects, and hidden hunters, and time pauses as survival waits underground. When life finally emerges, it is born into danger. There is no mother waiting, only instinct, and for the young, the world is nothing but threat. Birds strike from above, shadows move from every direction, and growth becomes the race that decides who lives long enough to matter. Each rock becomes shelter, each shadow a warning. As drought dries the land and food disappears, leaving only the strongest to endure. Yet the deadliest predator does not hunt for food. Human expansion, invasive species, and silent destruction push a once countless population toward the edge. What volcanoes could not erase, carelessness nearly did. Now, humans fight to undo what humans caused, protecting nests, guarding habitats, and giving the next generation a fragile chance. For the first time in years, more survive. Time moves differently for a creature built to endure decades. And for the Yellow Land Iguana, a long life is not guaranteed but earned. 30, 40, even 50 years can pass. Each one survived through patience rather than power. Instinct here is not learned, it is remembered, etched into muscle and bone by millions of years. There is no hesitation, no doubt, only ancient programming guiding every movement. The sun is not comfort, but lifeline, fueling a body designed to wait longer than danger itself. Stillness becomes strategy, and patience becomes survival. Only a handful of islands still know their footsteps, remnants of a world where they were once widespread. What was once diverse is now reduced to just a few surviving branches of an ancient family, each species shaped by its own island, each now fighting alone. As numbers fall, the genetic thread grows fragile, and survival itself becomes uncertain. Some relatives vanished silently, without witnesses or warning, erased before the world learned their names. When humans finally noticed, it was almost too late. Rescue began not as choice, but as necessity. Sometimes survival requires intervention, even when it means capture. To be handled is terrifying for a creature built to flee, and safety feels unnatural to the wild. Life becomes guarded, counted, and carefully planned, yet even under human care, instinct never disappears. Rescue is only the beginning, because the wild must be remembered. Every step back into open land is a step into uncertainty. But the land speaks, and the body listens. Years of captivity cannot erase millions of years of instinct. Recovery is slow, but it is deep. When one survives long enough, many may follow. These iguanas shape the land itself, and without them, balance collapses. Their existence forces a question for humanity. Can we protect what does not serve us? Rescue may slow extinction, but time never stops. When numbers are low, every heartbeat matters. Their greatest weapon is endurance, and instinct is not taught, only inherited. Time has seen them rise and nearly fall, and now they stand on the edge of possibility. Extinction is close, but not inevitable. Their future is no longer theirs alone. They remember the land, even when the land forgets them. They could outlive us if we allow it. Their survival is silent testimony to what patience can achieve. Against all odds, they are still here. The future remains unwritten, leaving behind one final question. Will we be remembered as the reason they survived, or the reason they vanished? Time gave them resilience. The rest depends on us. A yellow land iguana does not grieve the way humans do, but loss still leaves a measurable imprint. When eggs fail or hatchlings are killed, there is no search, no calling, no return to the nest. Instinct does not allow lingering, yet the loss is not meaningless. It is recorded silently in the body. Females often show extended stillness after nesting seasons. There is no comfort, no second chance. The land teaches quickly. Most offspring will never live long enough to matter, and instinct demands acceptance without reflection. Survival does not allow mourning, it allows adjustment. Yellow land iguanas do not form lifelong emotional bonds, but mates are not interchangeable during a breeding season. When a dominant partner is killed by injury, predation, or exhaustion, the survivor often shows behavioral disruption. Males may return repeatedly to a territory where a rival or mate once stood. The island remembers every wound, even when the survivor keeps moving. Because injury here does not pause life, it tests it. Only endurance, as every step is taken with damage that may never fully heal. Pain becomes a constant companion, and stopping is not an option. Because survival has a cost that is paid in scars, endurance is written into their bones, teaching them to wait longer than danger and waste less energy than fear demands. Stillness becomes strategy, and every movement is measured, because calories are life. Food is not chosen, it is accepted, even when it fights back with spines or toxins, forcing bodies to adapt to meals that would kill others. A single feeding must last for days, sometimes weeks, as digestion stretches time itself. Then the drought arrives, tightening the island's grip, cracking the earth and erasing mercy. There are no rivers to follow, only memory, and sometimes a trace of dew licked from stone at dawn. The sun turns brutal, flattening bodies against burning rock, forcing life to slow almost to a stop. Weight is lost, strength thins, and not all endure, leaving silence where tracks once were. When food finally disappears, movement begins, not guided by maps, but by instinct. Migration exposes them to open ground and unrelenting heat, where the earth burns beneath every step and there is no turning back. These routes were walked long before memory, sometimes under the cover of night when the ground cools and danger changes shape. Injury does not cancel the journey. It only makes it crueler, yet hunger pushes harder than fear. When green returns, it feels like salvation, and every bite restores more than energy. It restores the will to continue. Bodies slowly rebuild. Those scars remain as proof of what was survived. Victory is never permanent, because drought will return, and instinct prepares them to eat with the knowledge that hunger is coming again. They are not fast, they are relentless, living by persistence rather than strength. The island tests them without mercy, and to survive while injured becomes the highest form of endurance. Every step is earned, nothing given, everything taken back. Their lives are not measured in comfort, but in continuation. As long as they keep moving, hope exists, because broken, burned, and starving, they are still alive. If you love documentaries, kindly like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified once we drop a new video.